Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share yet another update on my experience with the OtterBox Commuter Series case designed for the Moto X. Now, I've had this case for a while, and I've always been a fan of OtterBox. They make some of the best cases available for devices just like the one we're looking at here, and that's because it just offers incredible protection, and you do pay for it with OtterBox. They're not inexpensive. This case ranges right now anywhere from $30 on a good day to as much as, I believe, 40 or no, 35, I think, is the suggested retail. Either way, you can always bump up to the Defender, which is a much beefier case, a lot more protection. It includes a clip. Both cases generally come also with screen protection. So OtterBox really aware that if you're buying their brand, you're buying into the type of protection that's going to make sure your device doesn't break unless you intentionally try to destroy it. And even then, you may be challenged. That's really part of, if you look at some drop tests with OtterBoxes, it's simply proven. I don't perform them because, quite frankly, other people have, and it's unnecessary. I wouldn't be sharing OtterBox cases if they didn't offer that sort of protection. They also offer minimal designs, good color choices. This, of course, is black, which for some may be boring, but still a little bit of design going on here. As you may have noticed, that black outline, high little piano gloss finish, something that I haven't seen on cases from them in the past. All the cutouts you would expect, from microphones to charging ports, everything is there. Your headphone jack, the actual another microphone, because there's quite a bit of noise cancellation going on with the Moto X, your LED flash to complement that 10 megapixel camera, your speakerphone grill right there so nothing is impeded, clean finish on the left. On the right side, we've got our power button, and that's flanked by the volume rocker. Now, this is where things get a little weird, because this is the first time I've had an issue like this. As you can see, and by the way, I believe this is really just that I have a lemon here, the plastic right there on the volume rocker has started to kind of shred. Not sure what caused that. When I did the unboxing, I mentioned that this came from an AT&T store and was actually, as I'm going to show you right now, in AT&T's very own packaging, which at least was odd to me as a Verizon customer. This is not something I'm accustomed to seeing. Generally, I've unboxed in the past retail OtterBox cases, not something like that where clearly they could sell you a return. So even though this phone has not been dropped, nothing has happened to it, the plastic just seems to be shredding off there. So not sure what's happening. It's not a big critique. I don't think you're going to find this with other cases, but if I didn't mention this, I would simply be omitting something that, at least to some of you, might be an indication of quality control. But when it comes to the look, the fit, and finish of this phone, a part of the beauty of these devices, the Moto X, is the Moto Maker and the ability to customize it. I have a developer's edition, so I don't have that luxury. I have that black and white finish, which I actually think is nice, even though I've never owned a white phone, nor did I really want one. The fact of the matter is that the Moto X really is the only Nexus 5 experience on Verizon, and it's arguably better than the Nexus 5, despite having some lower-end, more mid-tier specifications. The actual experience certainly is right in line with the current generation, and the voice commands rival anything offered by any manufacturer on the market, and that's because this really is Google's baby, no question about it. It is their own phone. They've made it, unlike the Nexus 5 and every other previous Nexus, which has been farmed out to major manufacturers that, of course, Google has relations with, but not the sort they have with their very own Motorola. So Moto really leveraging all of the best things they could here in this phone, and you want to protect it because it is small. I'm coming from the Note 2. I'm not used to holding a phone in this form factor anymore. It's very comfortable, but still less to hold on to, frankly. And it's something where I definitely feel I need a case. I know a lot of you, again, because of the customization, the color schemes that you may have invested your time with the Moto Maker, you're not going to want to protect it this way. You're going to go with something clear, but I cannot enough suggest and reinforce the idea that if you are prone to dropping your phone, this is just about the only case I can tell you where you're never going to have to worry about breaking it. Whether you do the classic getting out of the car and the phone is on your lap or somewhere that it shouldn't have been and it shoots out and hits the floor or the concrete, the road, the pavement, or you're just dropping this. This phone really needs this sort of protection. And it is a well-built phone, arguably better built than most on the market, not just because it's made here in the US, but the actual fabrication, the materials, it's really solid. But it still needs solid protection. So far, really like the case. I am going to unfortunately have to do something about this little shredded plastic thing because it could actually rip material in your pocket. It's that kind of stuff, and I don't want to cut it off because clearly when I go to make the exchange, they're going to have to see this. But very strange that happened. I've never had that happen with an OtterBox case. But, you know, if you have an OtterBox for the Moto X and this happened as well, chime in the comments because I'm curious if anyone else has had this problem. I don't expect to hear a lot because, again, this is probably my 4th or 5th OtterBox Commuter case. I'm not a big fan of the Defender just because it's so bulky and it detracts from any form factor that you may have already had that's desirable with the phone. Of course, that doesn't mean that a lot of you don't enjoy the Defender. In fact, there are many of you that require that sort of protection, and I understand. Again, it just is another layer. It's a lot, actually, much more robust than this, despite the fact that this is already really thick. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out the phone so you can get a real idea. Before I do that, again, access to all of these ports, these rubber lips, essentially. This is how all OtterBox cases work. Just give you that quick, easy access and dust-free because it really does seal it off. So no dust, no lint buildup. That's what's nice. Another, a lot of these rubberized cases will just be lint magnets. You won't really get that with OtterBox. That's another big advantage, in my opinion. Down here, of course, we have access for charging, and that's about the only time you're going to see that black-white finish that I've got on the phone because of the case. So that's really the biggest critique. Getting it on and off, not a big deal. And as I keep mentioning, it does not block any ports at all. So you do not have to worry in any way, shape, or form that you are going to sacrifice being able to get access to anything or functionality of the phone. So again, that plastic that I've been talking about that's having the problem right there. That's the best view I could possibly give. So it just looks like something went wrong at the factory. That's all I can tell you because I have no other reason. I mean, I could cut these off, but then they'll be rough and probably end up doing something to the rubber, just going down a bad road. But you can see this is the fitted part of the case, and it's relatively thin. This is the buffer between the shell. This is how all OtterBox cases work. And then finally we have the phone, which, as I keep mentioning, really pretty. So as Google Voice is going to actually try to interpret everything I'm saying here and probably do a really good job because generally, at least in my experience, this phone has some of the best voice recognition, commands, capability that I've ever seen from any device on the market. And that's just because Google actually spent some time with Moto on this. And you'll see that in the accuracy. Anyway, we don't want to actually see results from that. But the phone really thin, and there you go. And that's part of the reason I'm, again, just showing, we went from the case, and even though I'm not putting it back together, there is a substantial difference with this on, but there's also a substantial difference in your protection. You're not going to end up with a broken phone unless, again, you intentionally sabotage things. So I can definitely recommend the Commuter Series case. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Defender, but the quality will be the same level. No difficulty pressing buttons. That was the last time I covered a Commuter case, a Galaxy Series 1. That was a big complaint that the buttons were tough. Or actually, no, that may have been the Droid Razor. I can't even remember offhand right now. But no issue here, so no concerns for those of you worried about is it difficult to adjust volume. All of the buttons are perfectly fine when it comes to functionality. Nothing too stiff so that you can't actually still have that tactile feel. So no question, I can recommend the OtterBox Commuter Case Series case, for the Moto X. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.